Okay, welcome to Beyond. We have been on a roll here. Okay, good. My volume is working. I can check it myself today. I figured out a way to do that. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Sweet. My microphone, I couldn't hear the music, so I couldn't get all pumped up with you guys today because it was playing like silently through my computer instead of my headphones. So usually my introduction, I'm in the background like singing it and hoping that my microphone's not on for you guys to hear me, and I'm over here just getting excited. Anyway, welcome. Let me see what we got going on in the chat box as people are coming in here. As you're coming in, I'm going to ask you guys if you could go in and hit one of the buttons down there, get fancy, however, just you ain't even got to look, just smack one of them. If it's a thumbs up, that's great. If it's a thumbs down, you might change it by the end of the video. Do something, okay? But anyway, we've had a busy, I guess you can say 24 hours. Ever since yesterday morning, I have gone live twice yesterday, and this is another one. And man, I'm telling you, if you enjoy this one, like if this is your first time ever on Beyond the Veil, I'm going to encourage you to go back and watch my last two live streams under the live section on my Beyond the Veil YouTube channel page. Okay. Today we have some very, very serious stuff to talk about. Okay. This may be new to some of you. Let's say you're someone that like just found out about YouTube and you've jumped up here and like you've just found out about like certain things. You found out about like biblical cosmology. You saw something about Tartaria. You know, let's say you're newly getting into stuff. Okay. This may be really new to you. All right. I encourage you to bear with me and look at all the evidence behind this in the whole video. Okay. But then there's some of you that are very familiar with that stuff. I'm going to try my best not to say that stuff, those words specifically behind me today. Which brings me to this point right now where I must embarrass YouTube rather than trying to embarrass me. Hey, YouTube, if you're listening right now, which I know you probably are, whether you're a bot or whatever, hear my words, okay? What I am doing here is for entertainment purposes only, and everything that I present is something that you too, individual listening to this, including the person that's spying on me, that you too can look at and just read to your family as well. Okay. I'm not presenting anything that's new. I'm just going to state the facts or opinions. Okay. So get off my back, because if you happen to snatch this video, it's only going to prove my point that you're trying to hide all of this. Okay. So I'm going to continue forward. All right. We're going to be talking about some wild stuff. Okay. With that said, there is a seriousness behind all of this. Okay, we do need to make sure we keep all the families in harm's way in all of these fires. Okay, I don't care who it is. Okay, I don't care, like really who it is. No one deserves to die. Okay, everyone, for God so loved the world that He sent His Son, that He was hoping that all would come to repentance. Every one of us, including the sinners on the cross, He was hoping they would come to repentance. No matter who you are, what you've done in your life, He's just hoping you'd come to repentance and turn around and be born again in water and spirit and follow Him into the kingdom, not sit behind in a pew on your couch pillow. Okay? All right. To be born again, He's doing a new thing in your life. So, here we go. I'm just ready to get on into it. All right. I'm excited. I got a lot of videos to show to you. It's really a good chance that this video is going to get like flagged for like either, I don't know, I'm not going to say that word, the strike, okay, because of the things presented. So I'm glad you guys are up here live, all right, because this could easily get stripped right out, all right. We're going to be presenting a lot of videos along with a lot of detailed information as I usually do here, okay. So I'm going to ask you this: endure till the end of this video, and that means you can pause it and go get your coffee or go use the bathroom or whatever you got to do in the background until then. All right, sweet. We're going to jump into this. Let me get my screen share going. But let me play something for fun to get this thing started today. All right. I have kids and I love kids. I was a youth minister for a long time, and I spent a lot of time listening to little kids that could just go all the way up to 22-year-olds that would actually be there talking to me about some very, very, very sad things they're going through in their lives and stuff. But with that said, at one point I had 58 in a youth group, okay, with just little old me and my wife, and it was incredible. We watched them grow from 12 to that number 58 in only a 2-year period, and I knew everything about those kids. I knew every single thing that you can imagine as far as like deep stuff. You know, looking through an eyes of a child, you never know that you can love something so much. Like I love my kids in there. Like I love my son who is gone. Okay. Well, with that said, okay, you need to take this and you need to really observe all of it and see what's going on here. Okay. Well, back to the kid thing. Being that I have a lot of kids, my son and I have watched every single cartoon and movie and Power Ranger stuff and Godzilla stuff, and everything that I've ever presented to you is to the thankfulness of kids. I was able to spend a lot of time watching movies, cartoons, all this stuff that I'm able to present to you guys and show you some mind blowing stuff. But also, I was able to teach children the Bible also, and it was incredible. A lot of learning. Okay. Um, So one of the movies we watched was my son's favorite movie for a long time. It's called Big Hero 6. Okay? I'm going to show you one of the scenes in there. All right? And I sing this song all the time. I can't wait to play it for you. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bed friends, led by Fred, their leader, Fred. Fred's Angels, Fred's Angels, harnessing the power of the sun with the ancient amulet they found in the attic. The amulet is green, it's probably an emerald.
Fred, I will laser hand you in the face.
Okay. I hope you could hear that. Fred's Angels, dun dun dun. Fred's Angels, dun dun dun. Harnessing the power of the sun with the magic amulet you found in the attic. The amulet is green. It's probably an emerald. Dun, 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 dun. All right, but anyway, I'm not going to keep doing that. It's just going to be stuck in my head now, all right? Uh, all right, well, I want to show you something, all right? I'm going to show you a series of movies, and I'm going to let you do the math in your head, okay? And then we're going to go nuts, all right? And I'm going to present all this up front on the video in case like YouTube makes me chop it out for copyright purposes. It's just what they do, okay? If you're watching this later and there's a chunk missing, all you're going to do is miss the visuals of the things I'm going to present later that's actually word form. So it's okay if you missed this video section. For those 71 of you that are alive right now, you're in for a treat, okay? I've got several things to show you. All right, let's start with this one. You know how I am. All right, let's just jump into it. All right, is that one still Fred's Angels? Yeah, let's do Fred's Angels. Let me go in and get that one off so I won't hit it anymore. All right, remove from studio. Okay, next I want to show you this. It's beautiful. Tropicana. Oh, that was the end of the video. Let me start it over. Had that banner over it. I almost want to show you that one again, and it's short and sweet. I want you to make sure you saw the stuff at the bottom. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Sorry. All right, I'm going to remove that one from the studio so I won't click it again by accident. Let's watch the next one. This is going to get more and more intense. I just hope you're prepared for all these videos.
Our sun is dying.
Our sun is dying.
Mankind faces extinction. The Earth frozen in a solar winter.
Notice the two-sun rotation that they did there purposely.
16 months ago, our last best hope left Earth. Our purpose, to create a star within a star.
Pay attention to the concave lens that they have created here. Just pay attention to all the details of this video because, like I said, you're not going to be able to see this later if it gets stripped out by YouTube, but you need to watch this. Pay attention to all the details of this video.
We have a payload to deliver to the heart of our
Do that
news.
again.
Star within a star.
We have a payload to deliver to the heart of our nearest.
By the way, that's Johnny Blaze. Okay? Johnny Blaze, we've talked about many times, all right, and his importance in many roles, all right? Okay, but let me keep going.
That star.
That girl next to him there at this very end on the right is the other main character right beside him. Her name is Mary in real life. We've been talking about all that.
Is dying. And if it dies, everything dies. There is nothing, literally, nothing more important than completing our mission.
Are you scared?
No.
I am.
What's going on?
We don't know. All the sensors out there are burned out. The only way we're gonna know is if we go out there.
Okay, Chris. I'm gonna be taking control here for a while.
Yes, Cassie.
And I'm gonna be rotating us so damage is facing away from the sun. Do we understand each other?
Yes,
Wow.
Cassie. Establishing new alignment to sun.
I want to keep pausing this just to make sure that it doesn't get like chopped up so much, okay?
Damaged panels.
But you're understanding, right? I don't really want to go through this whole video, all right? But I hope you understand what's going on here. We'll break down this movie here in a little bit, okay? This is a pretty long video. I don't want to go through too much of it, okay? But you see this, right? Pay attention to the footage that you're seeing here. What takes place in this movie is they put something in front of the sun because the sun itself starts dying, okay? Because you remember the sun, the Bible says word for word that the sun will stop putting off its light and the moon will stop putting off its light and that they will start changing their orbits. And it doesn't say it's an immediate thing, okay? I want everybody to think back to the eclipse that took place and how everybody had multiple footages of something in front of the sun and in front of something else, all right? I'm going to show you pictures of that in a little bit. Okay, so what happened in this movie, like I said, is they put something in front of the sun that harnesses the power of the sun with the magic amulet they found in the attic. They put something in front of them, and it's going to happen so much. Get ready for it. They put something in front of the sun that harnessed the power of the sun that could. But it really was for just heating and cooling, trying their best to replicate what the world was before it started falling apart. So they were trying to save the world. So they caused a fake sun up there, the electric sun I was telling you about I can say years ago now, the electric sun. And you go, and I tried to tell you, Ra and his chariot in the sky. It goes back to ancient Egypt because there's nothing new under the sun. You know, everybody to this very day still thinks that Ra in Egyptian culture and worship is strictly just sun worship. No, pay attention to the hieroglyphs, guys. It's an eclipsed sun. That's what the whole point of Quetzalcoatl and all that. They had to do the sacrifices like in Apocalypto when the eclipse would come over is when they have to make the sacrifices to Ra, the sun god, to Quetzalcoatl, or however in the world you want to say those in different ways. I've gone about it. Okay. all of that stuff. You know, we've talked about in depth this eclipse worship. That's why it never says that Ra is the sun in the sky. It says that Ra is the chariot that is pushing the sun and moving the sun and chasing the sun in his chariot in the sky, as seen in Gods of War. Not Gods of War, in Gods of Egypt. Okay? He's the chariot in the sky that can cause, he's the only thing that can block out the sun. That's what makes him what people are like, oh, he's a god. He can block out the sun. He's scary. He's the black sun. He's the red sun. He's more powerful than that other sun behind it. Okay? You need to know that it's nothing new under the sun. Okay? It's seen in so much stuff I'm going to show you. Okay? But let's move on to one more video here. All right? Okay, just keep all that in mind.
I think we're going 100 miles an hour towards a brick wall, and nobody seems to be paying much attention.
We have to find a clean source that's going to be available for lifetimes, and that's what fusion is.
Now pay attention to the wordage here. We have to find a clean source of energy that's going to be available for a lifetime.
The world's most
Now realize this is in 2017. Keep all these dates in mind as well.
ambitious attempt to harness fusion as a source of power is taking
They're trying to harness
shape in France.
What we're trying to do here is to make a artificial star.
We are pushing the edge of technology. Sometimes we run into problems and we have to solve these problems.
We have spent how much money over the last 10 years?
The giant ITER reactor might prove one of the most expensive failures in scientific history.
See that it's not a work for emotional weak people.
I have a saying here at General Fusion. I told my engineer, if you can't find it at Home Depot, it doesn't go in the machine.
5 years ago, we were having things blow up every day. People were scared.
Some people say this is a long shot.
Now, for those that aren't doing the math here, they're trying to harness the power of a star. And according to what NASA tells you, that is nuclear fusion. Okay? Okay. Well, you need to go back to Godzilla, who swallowed a star. Remember? That's the whole thing behind Godzilla. That's how he gets his atomic breath. Atomic, where it comes in the atomic bomb, because he swallowed the atom. Okay? He swallowed the atom, swallowed the power of the nuclear star. He swallowed the sun. That's why they have all that sun worship and moon worship, where people get scared back in those cultures where they thought the dragon was swallowing the sun. Okay? The Quetzalcoatl, or the feathered serpent, would be worshipped in these different places all over the world. It has more than different names than that. He would be known for swallowing the sun or swallowing the moon. Hence Godzilla swallowing the sun and harnessing the power of the sun with the magic amulet he found in the firmament, in the attic. He found a star, an amulet that fell to the earth, so he tried to harness it, and he scorches the earth and its enemies. All right, well, let's keep on going here. Nuclear fusion. All right, let's remove this one. If you're coming in late, you've missed a lot, but it's okay. Let's get this one off stage because we're going to do one more for you. I want to show you a series of pictures that I personally took, along with pictures that have been sent to me from all over the place. Now, for some reason, well, I think I can figure out a way to, I wanted to present this in a way in which I could zoom in with you to see these spots. But I'm going to ask you, if you have a phone in your hand, man, I need to trim my mustache. I'm sorry, it's like going on in my mouth. I hate that. Anyway, these pictures and stuff that's in front of you, I'm going to encourage you, if you have a cell phone, even if you have a computer, go like, if you have an iPad, okay, I can't do that. All right, I want you to zoom in on where I'm telling you to zoom in and look at this thing. Okay, watch. 3, 2, 1. Let me rewind this a little bit because I don't know. All right, pause. I want you guys to start with your phone. All right, I want you to start looking. Yes, absolutely, Kirk. Absolutely. You're pulling out stuff before I can even get to it. Just hold your horses. Okay. Look, so I want you to start with your phone. I want you to start going outside and I want you to start looking at the sun with your phone. And then I want you to start looking at what the light source looks like in the little anomaly mesh right here. I want you to start seeing what it looks like. I'm going to show you. This is one. I was like, oh, that's weird. So watch this. Okay, pause. You can even lean into. I'm leaning in and looking. It won't let me zoom in on my end, but I want you to look at that speck up closely and notice the rows of lights. Okay, notice the rows of lights in the sky there. And if you look at it really closely, you can see a hexagon form, like a panel, like a hexagon panel, right? A hexagon panel. So do you see it? A hexagon panel of lights up there? I'm really hoping you can. Okay. Well, I want to show you something else. All right, let's keep on going. There's a better one for you. All right. You need to zoom in here and look at the panel of lights. Okay. And all it is that's crazy to me that people can't do the math in their heads. All right. When you take a flashlight that has a single bulb in the center of it, and you shine it at a camera, it'll be a single light. Okay. If you take a double, like a spotlight that has it's like this full coil in it. Okay. You can see it. And you look at it, it almost has a double thing to it. Okay, because it has a double spiral with the bulb lens they put in there, the older ones. Okay, and so on and so forth. Really, you can do it with your own. You can do this experiment with your own stuff. Okay, so let's keep on going. Now realize I'm not saying the sun is gone. I'm saying something is in front of the sun as well. You need to also do the math on things. How does Glinda the Good Witch travel around, and how does she become the Lord Mistress of the Air in Oz? In a bubble, a reflective bubble. Okay, it's not the sun, but it reflects the sun and causes a sparkling effect. Is how the Queen of the Air travels around in her bubble orb, bubble boy. Okay, let's keep on going here. There's another one for you. Now I'm gonna even show you how these things are looking different on each one, like they're doing this number here, like they're an opening, closing. You ever seen a concave? You go, yeah, you open, close, and stuff like that. All right. Then we got some of this stuff going on here. Let's see what else we got. We have a lot of people seeing the double suns all over the place, like your MasterCard where it has the red sun of Ra that's blocking out the MasterCard regular sun. Like I've been telling you. Well, there's a lot of those. MasterCard logos, the red sun and the original sun, the greater light and the lesser light. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Now, this was during the eclipse. You notice the light source in front of the real sun, and there's something in front of that. Do you remember the video I showed you earlier? Sure you do. You can't deny this stuff. Now that I'm gonna move forward. Now I'm gonna prove to you, like biblically, how this is physically possibly happening. You know, when he gave Peter the keys to the kingdom, because Christ said, my kingdom's not of this world, but Christ is the cornerstone, the rock in which the Pharisees rejected. So he makes Peter the rock in which Christ builds his church upon. As the gates of hell shall not prevail against him, Peter. And he's like, I will give you the keys to the kingdom. And whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in the heavens. And whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in the heavens. Okay? This is why when you pray the Lord's Prayer, you say, Our Father. You don't say our sacred name. You say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Holy is it. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Not I want a PlayStation and I want 1,000 whatever else is. Okay. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. All right. Now, okay, that's how you pray. That's according to Christ. When you pray to the Father, you call him Father, and you don't call any Pope or anybody on the earth Father. But the English language has you calling your dad even Father, and it calls you the Pope Father. Okay, and it is how it is. It's how the English language of the beast works. Okay, well, this is happening because as Ra/Satan was cast to the earth, okay, he also became Lord of the air. Have you never wondered how that worked? Okay, he's the ruler of this world, and he's the Lord of the air. Okay, that's why it's a double source going. And you're like, well, that means that he's in the heavens. No, it doesn't. It means he's beneath the firmament in the first firmament. Okay, is what that means. And the heavens, and on earth. This is why Ra could control those things in heaven and on earth by binding and loosing. How do you bind and loose? With sacred rings, aka Lord of the Rings, Solomon's rings, in which he could bind and loose demons in the heavens and on the earth by the Pleiades. Man, I've turned into such a nerd. I love it. But anyway, let's keep on going here, all right? That's why that's existing, and that's why Ra could do that, okay? And just as the Most High sent his Son into the world, the bright morning star, after the morning star, the lesser light messed up, he sent the bright morning star and created life and light and good. Well, after that happened, you need to know, okay? It has been a war ever since where Satan just tries to take over everything that the Most High does. So since the Most High sent his Son into the world, this is where Venus comes in. What do you mean? Well, this is where the whole Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod story comes in. What do you mean, Dustin? Well, this is where the story of Osiris and Horus and Ra come in. What do you mean, Dustin? Well, it's all the same thing. That stuff of Satan trying to mimic the Most High. The Most High sent his Son into the world to be the Savior of the world, the Christ. So Satan corrupted his seed and sent his seed and son into the world called the Antichrist. Hence the first one born into the family of Satan. Okay, just as Christ said, he says, ye are born of the devil. Okay, once you take on sin, that's how you're born of the devil. That's why he calls you to be born again, back into his seed line, his family. This is just a war between technically two seed lines in this world, the seed of the woman and the seed of the dragon. Okay, well, so that's why you have two seed lines, because they must exist. You can't have darkness without light and vice versa. Okay, so you have that going on. Well, Venus is that representation of him being loosed in the heavens. When? Well, remember I told you he became a spirit upon the earth after he died, just as the Most High told Cain. He said, surely you shall not die. This is where you get the spirit of Cain that's loosed on the earth. Well, if it's loosed on the earth, it's loosed in the heavens. And that's why it's a hex over the earth, a curse. We've been under the curse of Cain. We've been under the curse of Solomon's double wisdom going on here, okay? There's been a curse in the heavens, and there's been a curse on the earth, and everyone has been under a spell. Literally. Since Cain and his daddy, Ra, have been loosed back on the earth. Because we have indeed an artificial sun, an electric less light, and we have the Venus, okay, which is going around nuts, okay? All right. So there's all that. Now let's get into some crazy stuff to prove all of this way more in depth for you guys. This has been a lot of fun already, and I'm not even really cracked open the whole nothing yet, okay? Hope you guys are liking this. If you could just make sure you're sharing this with people that you want to wake up while I'm doing things in the background, okay? All right. Screen share. Sweet. All right, let's remove all this from the bottom so it's not slowing down my speed. And let's go. All right. Okay, so first we have to hear it from NASA, Okay, slash Nasha is how you pronounce it in Hebrew, which means to beguile, which means to deceive, which means to trick, which means to stick a tongue in it and deceive you, which you can switch over the Space Force logo itself and make a Baphomet, okay? All right, so let's hear it from Space Force and their deceptive globe. It's crazy. That looks more real than the mess that they're presenting to us and people are falling for, okay? But here we go. All right, let's read what the Space Force, United States Space Force System Command. Buzz Lightyear, this is Star Command. Come in, Star Command. Have you ever noticed the Buzz Lightyear logo is exactly like the Space Force logo? Have you ever seen the Buzz new movie, the new Buzz, where they recreated Buzz Lightyear and they brought in the homosexuality stuff when this one Buzz Lightyear came back and it was way different? Okay. All right. This is why their first mission was what the Antichrist said. We will have a king over him in those days that will be loosed in the heavens and loosed on the earth. Who? Apollyon. Don't you know who was born literally in the middle of the space race? Donald Trump. By his mother and his whole family go back to Mary Trump. This is no joke. And Mary Christ Trump. And he has the Christ Trumps all in his family. Okay? He was born in the middle of the space race when the Apollyon missions were started, the destroyer missions. So they had to loose him in the heavens as they loosed him on the earth. All right? Hope you're understanding where this is going. Remember, something strange happened in the feed, that old fake feed of the fake moon landing, that they left the poor guy there that was recording them coming on the moon and leaving the moon. They said the first man on the moon was Neil Armstrong, but it really was the cameraman. Same one they left there, poor guy. But anyway, United States Space Force says this about direct energy weapons as of September 20th, only a couple of months ago of this past year. Okay. You know, they talk about the man on the moon. The man on the moon is the cameraman on the moon, okay? It is what it is. Poor guy. Poor fella. Poor Petrie. Poor Petrie. All right. So focus on the threat. Directed energy weapons, part 3 of 6. Okay, by Lisa Sodders and Brad Smith. It's always a Smith pan there, huh? All right, El Segundo. By the way, I feel so much better today if you guys haven't noticed. California. Once upon a time, it was the stuff of science fiction. This was 2 or 3 months ago, okay? Lasers in space so powerful that they could blind satellites, sending GPS and other signals to Earth. Today, directed energy weapons are very real. Now, I didn't say this, YouTube. Before you go and strip this video, you're going to tell on yourself. NASA and Space Force is putting this out. I'm just reading this to these beautiful brothers and sisters of mine that I want to share things with. So you can read this too, moderator YouTubers. Okay. Today, I'm not the YouTube. Get off of me, please. Okay. Today, directed energy weapons are very real, according to Lisa Sodders from Space Force, and can be used to damage and degrade equipment. Like all those electric charging stations all in California right now that has happened to blow up all over the place because of some directed energy weapon could easily just point right at one of those and or they could point at any type of satellite, any type of 5G area in which a signal is put off. They put off a signal that can be targeted, aka how the Navy can target ships in general. Man, I'm going to miss you guys. I'm sure YouTube's going to make this my last video ever before they close my page. Okay? You got to realize they have targeting systems that do exactly what I'm trying to present to you does. All right? Okay. Now, all right, they might take the form of ground-based directed energy weapons, radiating lasers from a to blind or dazzle satellite sensors, like an EMP going off. Or they could operate from space or they can operate operate from space as a directed energy weapon in orbit. I didn't say that, YouTube. This is Lisa Sodders and Brad Pan from Space Force saying this stuff to these people. It is not me. Okay, having a ground-based weapon gives the adversary a little more power boost, and they can maintain that system on the ground. But in orbit, you can get a lot closer to the target. Said U.S. Space Force Major Neil Carter. I didn't say it's YouTube. Space Systems Command's Deputy Director of Intelligence said it to these people. I'm just telling them what he said. I should be a news anchor. There are trade-offs for both of those, and we expect to see more example of this in the coming years. Oh boy, well, when was this? Oh, this was only a few months ago. Fabulous. All right. If we have an intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance satellite that we're using to observe airfields, ships, missiles, or ground troops, meaning sea, land, and air, all things that the Joint Force and the National Command Authority need to build intelligent assessments. And there's a directed energy weapon with a laser dazzler or other type of emitter that's engaging and can't get into intel to the warfighter, the commander, or the president. It's a significant threat to adversaries. Can go from the satellite to satellite pinpointing and targeting our ISR birds. Well, remember, it says that the Antichrist, Apollyon, would be able to call down fire in front of the people, and they will be dazzled, amazed, and wonder after the beast. Who can wage war with someone like James and John, who can call down fire from the firmament and burn all the Gentiles? Donald John Trump and James Donald Vance. And Peter Thiel, our national security, our new Secretary of Defense. Peter, James, and John, the three greatest in America, the greatest. They're making America great again, Peter, James, and John are. And they're going to call down fire on the Gentiles. And Babylon will be up in smoke and ash within only an hour. Apollo missions. Like, we started going to space to do this for Apollo when he was loosed in the heavens and on earth. This could be my favorite live stream I've ever done in my life. And I said that yesterday twice. Okay. Don't get laser dazzled, folks. I didn't say that, YouTube. I just didn't say the R. Okay. I said laser dazzled. Okay. I think you get it, right? You see this? This is not from me. This is from them. This is from the ones. See, look, there's stars. Now there's stars in space, but on the moon landing, there was no stars in space. Oh, all right. Let's get off of here before I lose it. Whew. Hey, have you ever seen Donald Trump's? Watch this. I just blows my mind. I don't know why I didn't think about this. Let me see if how I can pull this up. This will blow your mind. Remember, it's the woman dressed in purple, right? And watch this. Purple pins, arrow. I'm trying to figure out how to pull this up. All the employees wear them. Let me see. Please wear it. Don't see. I don't have to dig and dig and dig. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to find it without going through all my pictures and stuff. So I'll post it on my Facebook page. But I'll tell you what it is, because I know some of you already know. Don't you know what Donald Trump makes his employees wear on his lapel, his security guards and all of them? Well, it's literally a purple Star Command ship, just exactly like what you saw, just filled in purple. I've actually posted that. All right. George, what's up? I knew you were going to blow. This was going to blow your mind. I'm glad you're watching this / listening to this in your shop probably right now on your headphones. That's weird, right? Okay, I'm going to keep on going. All right, I want to show you something that's going to blow your mind. All right. Let's look at the DS-1 orbital battle station, or as they like to call it in Star Wars, Death Star 1. Because there's got to be a Death Star 1 that dies, and they have to come back with Death Star 2 that suffered a head wound and come back. Because you remember, it was like they were killed and died because he was and is not, but came back. Well, look, guys, that's the suffered a head wound and came back as Death Star 2. After Death Star 1 was destroyed, they came back and assembled Death Star 2. Okay, so there's DS1, and let's read about it, all right, and what it can do. I wonder if it can harness the power of the sun with the... All right. Anyway. The DS-1 Orbital Battle Station, or MK-1 Deep Space Mobile Battle Station, better known as the Death Star or Death Star 1, and known to the public as Imperial Planetary Ore Extractor, because they'll cause a disaster in a place to go mine some ore, to mine some oil, to mine some gold, to mine some lithium. All they need is a devastator to happen. All right? And known to the public as Imperial Planetary Ore Extractor, was a massive Imperial battle station and super weapon. Now, YouTube, I'm only reading this stuff with a diameter of 160 kilometers designed to enforce law and order throughout the empire of Babylon with the threat of planetary destruction. It started off as the separatist ultimate weapon before becoming the expeditionary. Look, I'm going to tell you guys, I have ADHD. For those who are like, man, he gets off track a lot. Yeah, I have ADHD to the max. According to the military, I've got a lot of stuff that happened back then, but God has literally brought me back out of that stuff. Okay? I'm okay. But I do get distracted very easy, and I have a hard time pronouncing words because of I had a TBI. I had seizures for about 2 years after the military, cracked my skull open, and it was horrible. Man, I woke up in Fort Bragg 2 months later after 3 grand mal seizures with only an hour and a half. So I'm going to tell you, most of the time you need to really listen to your ADHD folks, especially the younger generation. They know some things. Okay? They don't want to listen to the government's lies for a reason. That's why I was so bad in school. It was lies. All right? So here we go. All right. Imperial Planetary Ore Extractor is what we're talking about here, YouTube. All right. Now, you ready? Before becoming the Expeditionary Battle Planetoid Development Initiative, or Project Death. You remember, Apollyon is the bringer of death, but he brings the disease and he brings the cure. So he'll bring a problem, but he'll lift himself up so the world's like, I need a hero. That's why they've got you obsessed with all these heroes. Okay, they put a hero in your place. Just as Albert Pike said himself, when they need a hero, we will give them one. Well, they've done it, and boy, people have fallen left and right for Tammuz and his daddy in the sky. All right. Okay. The Project Death Star, after it ceased to be the separatist project and became an Imperial one in 19 BBY. Its design origins lay in the Wraith Scener's Expeditionary Battle Planetoid. I said it right, Cinar, who had become disillusioned about the project due to its impracticalities, nonetheless shared the design with whatever his name is in 29 BBY. You get it. Okay, you guys know about the Death Star. You know what the Death Star does? It harnesses the power of the sun / stars or suns. Okay, it's just there happen to be 2 that rule over the first firmament that we're in right now, the greater light and the lesser light. That's why there's 2 huge things that we can see like that, and it seems like the others are real further away, and like you really can't get there, like NASA's deceiving you by. Okay, you need to know that stuff. Think about this, folks. Everybody's comparing us to other planets. Well, they're gas planets. Are we a gas planet? Why would they? What's this? Everybody's like, well, if they're all balls up there, why are we a ball? Because they're balls of energy, gas, nuclear fusion. Okay. All right. Don't compare yourself to what's in our firmament, folks. All right. So there's this Project Death Star. Okay. The Death Star. But let's go, because remember, this one was destroyed, right? You remember that, right? You guys watched all the Star Wars stuff. This is probably going to send you on a big old Star Wars decode. And I hope it does, because me and my wife have watched every movie and every episode, and I have one sitting on the back burner for you guys at some point. Okay, now let's look at Death Star 2. The Death Star 2 was the second Death Star after the first one suffered a head wound and retired. But then the Anubis, the tech giant, gave Osiris the ability to come back and assemble and go back to space. Can you wonder who Anubis, the tech giant of Egypt, is? Well, I hope you know who Anubis is. It's Elon Musk, the one that gave Osiris the X, Twitter, so he can have a mouth to run his mouth again. All right. And you know what's crazy? I'm not even going to bring that up yet, because it'll blow your mind too much. So you won't be able to focus, because you'll just be like scattered all over the place for the rest of the video. But I'm going to blow your mind at some point in the coming days with the whole other decode. So Death Star 2 is after the first one suffered a head wound and they put in retirement, but they assembled what they could and got it back out there for action one last time for a short season before you know what happened to him. He gets destroyed, folks. All right. Well, let's look even further here. Okay, we've looked at Death Star 1 and Death Star 2. Now let's see what else I've got pulled up for you guys. Now let's break down the Death Star, folks. All right, let's look at super lasers that come off the front of the Death Star and also all the other ships in space, because there's not just one, there's many. Okay. All right. A super laser was a device which merged several separate super laser beams into a single exceedingly powerful beam. Meaning they took something concave and they focus it in. Like you can take a magnifying glass, you can pull it further and closer from the sun. You can take a magnifying glass and go further and closer to the sun and make a I mean, it's pretty simple. Okay, it don't take a genius to develop something like that. Okay, you just put a bunch of concave and do it. You do it. It's always simple. Concave lens. All right. So the super laser was a device which merged several separate super laser beams together into a single exceedingly powerful beam. We're the ants and he's the bully. Hence the bully, the ant bully. That movie is out because it's about us. And you've got A Bug's Life with the grasshoppers and the locusts who come on and they invade the many ants, the great multitude, and they finally rise up against the locusts and run them out and things like that. Or in Ants, you ever seen that movie Ants? Even in the Ants, they show that, and Utopia as well. They got Utopia in there. Lots of stuff. I've watched every movie in the world. Try me. A super laser was a device which merged all the lasers into one, okay? And guess where it was invented? The largest of the super lasers ever was the Death Star. But you got to remember, there are smaller capital ships. There's smaller ships. There's all kinds of ships in Star Wars. It used to be my favorite thing to collect and build, especially with Legos. There's big ones and small ones. The small ones couldn't do nowhere near as much damage as the big ones, hence drones. This may get a little shocking to you a little bit, what they're able to do right now. Those orbs you're seeing too, I do believe in the wheels within wheels, okay? But I believe there's a battle in the heavens right now between the true angels, the orbs, against the drones, the lesser lights. Okay? I hope you're putting that together. There's not just drones, but there's also orbs. And it says word for word that the stars will not, they'll go about their ways in the end, and there will be a war in the heavens going on between these things. All right. You ever wonder why all those movies exist? Absolutely. Okay. So there's big ones and small ones that can do this stuff here. All it takes is, think about this, folks. If you have a big drone that has a huge concave lens in the center of it with only propellers on the outside, this is so simple, with lights blinking. You have a big concave lens and you fly it anywhere you can. And like I said, even with that, you don't even have to be that high off the ground to torch something at all. And it'd be simple with a drone. They have lightweight glass right now and all that other crazy stuff. You can, not even that, they have lenses I'm going to show you, which is really going to blow your mind. Here we go. Do you remember that movie? All those videos I showed you at the beginning? Well, they came out in 2017. Well, here's this. But don't let this fool you. This looks like it's not that big, but look, this is the world's largest artificial sun, and it could help generate clean fuel that could last generations. Like I said, in 2017, the same time as the movie was coming out, they were developing an artificial sun. Okay? This was in Germany. And just to put this thing in perspective, this looks small. Watch this. Let's put a person in front of it. See how big it is? Now compare this with my pictures I showed you earlier. Watch. I mean, remember, it's got just a bunch of lights that can flex, bend, and it would never need to charge its battery because it's solar powered on the back. And it's just soaking up all that sun as close as it can, literally as close as it can. It don't even need any type of energy whatsoever. It harnesses the power. It's solar powered. It harnesses the power of the sun with the reflective glass knowledge they found from the fallen angels. That's when they started developing solar panels, only in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s. Boom, 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 boom. Don't forget when Trump was born. I want to remind you. He's no time traveler. He's been enlightened. All right. Well, this is real, okay? No joke. Scientists have just turned on the world's, when was this? 2017. Scientists have just turned on the world's biggest artificial sun. The huge structure could help shed light on new ways to keeping green fuels, among other technologies, and the engineers behind it hope. And all, the sun is made up of honeycomb of 149 spotlights, which together make the structure known as sin light. If Christ is the forgiveness of the sins and he's the light of the world, then Satan is the sin and the darkness of the world, the lesser light of the world. This stuff isn't made up, guys. You know, and some of you guys don't want to accept it, so you laugh it off like, this guy's talking about the Death Star. I sure am. Because I'm not even nowhere near done, because let's look at what they're doing in China. I showed you multiple videos earlier. Don't you remember that little tearjerker when we watched earlier about the Arctic getting a nuclear star? Strange. That's where Godzilla went. All right. All right. Here's China. This was in 2021. So guess what? Sorry, Germany. You no longer have the biggest artificial sun anymore. Because by 2021, while everybody was distracted by COVID, China created the most advanced artificial fusion reactor. And which, guess what they're doing? They're creating an artificial sun and artificial star on Earth. Okay, this was 2021. I want y'all to do the math on this. They started creating this reactor that I showed you a video of earlier. Well, guess what else happened? Okay, China's artificial sun burns at 120 mn degrees Celsius. Scientists replicate sun's fusion reaction on Earth, like on the Earth. But just as it is on Earth, so shall it be in the heavens, they say in the Bible. But this was in 2021, okay? This is India news. Well, let's go on even further. Do y'all remember this went viral all over the place? Okay. And everybody was like, oh, well, no, da-da-da. Well, I'm going to show you. This is the fact checkers right here. Coincidentally, only a few months after China has officially developed a nuclear star on Earth, only a few months later, this video starts going viral of China supposedly releasing an artificial sun in the sky. But YouTube claims false. Do you know why? Here's their only excuse of why. Look at these pictures. See this, see this, see this, see this, see this, see this. You need to know when you launch a rocket, a satellite into space, you indeed have some crazy looking stuff, but I want to show you what their picture was. So here's what they sent back as their argument. This one, right? This one, right? Now I need you to think about what they would do when they deploy something into space, but I also want you to look at this part here, this, and this. And I want you to compare what you just saw there with those three right there at the bottom with something that China also released to cover this up. Watch this, that I showed you earlier. I just don't know if you paid attention to it, so I'll show you one more time. Let's see here. Pay attention to how this looks. I showed. Are you okay? And everybody's like, well, they're just the strings they use to hold it down. I think they're trying to show you something here, folks. Okay. Did you see? I just want you to look at it because it's not just that one clip. Boom. Okay. All right. Okay. And it's not like, I mean, it just is what it is. Okay. Let me get that off of there. YouTube, I'm just showing a commercial. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go on even further. Okay. This is about to even this is really about to get even crazier. Now there was this other movie I showed you guys called Let There Be Light. Okay, we're not going to pull those videos back up again because, like I said, this video is just going to get stripped all apart by YouTube here in a little bit. So the ones that are up here live, you've really have a treat, you know, happening right now. Okay, because they're about to probably cut this all out. But anyway, let's keep on going. In this video that I showed you earlier, all right. Well, in this one, this is the same thing where they have the Let There Be Light follows a story of dedicated scientists working to build a small sun on Earth, which would unleash perpetual, cheap, clean energy for all mankind. After decades of failed attempts, a massive push is now underway to crack the holy grail of energy. Okay? This artificial sun is what this whole movie is about, and them releasing the sky because their sun is dying, so they're trying to save it. In this movie, Sunshine, you have the exact same thing happening here. You have Johnny Blaze and Mary. John and Mary, okay, which is Johnny Blaze here. Fantastic Four. Okay, and her name actually is Mary. No joke. Did a live on that last night. She happened to pop up. What's the coincidence of that? When this one, they spend all that time in space. Like, oh, I didn't have my screen share up. Hold on. Whoop. I am so sorry. Boom. All right. Just let me see something. I don't want you guys to miss anything, so I'm gonna go back and show you what I was just showing you. Okay, Let There Be Light. This is the one I showed you earlier, in case you wanted to watch the movie. Okay, this is what you'll look for, because you know the other producers in America didn't want you knowing about this movie because the same year, guess what happened? This same year, Angel Flicks released Let There Be Light, a good version of this. The same year that Let There Be Light, this came out by whoever produced this. So that way, when you look up Let There Be Light, this ain't going to be the movie that pops up for 2017. Instead, it's going to be Let There Be Light of Angel Flicks, Angel Studios. Okay, so I encourage you to watch this movie. Like I said, in this movie, it's all about them trying to save the sun and harness the power of the sun just to keep on life surviving. Okay, do you guys remember Interstellar? What happened in Interstellar? Well, they started scorching the earth for some reason and farms just started catching on fire everywhere, and they were just burning up the crops, and everything was just smoke and ash and dust, and everybody was coughing and coughing and coughing. So they have to send Matthew McConaughey into space. And you know who was behind it all? John Mann. John Mann headed up the whole thing together there. Okay, and he sent him to space to try and save him. He has to go through some portal, and oh man, it's just crazy. And the next thing you know, they make an artificial place for people to live. Same type thing there. Well, Sunshine. There was the other movie I told you guys if you want to watch and start decoding stuff. This is the one with Johnny Blaze and Mary, okay, in which they put here you can see it real good. They have the concave lens on the back, okay, that absorbs the sun for energy. They harness the power, like a free outlet of the sun, and this is what they would do with these light sources here in the center, but this is concave backwards, but this here is their light sources that they can bend and manipulate to save the earth, okay? All right. Let's move on even further past that. It's also in this other cartoon I found out about. VeggieTales. There's artificial sun in that, and it's a destruction entity. The destroyer, and would you believe it? Kraken, the one eye of Ra, the eye of Horus, the eye of Osiris, the eye and the release of the Kraken, and he's in front of the sun, and he's got his own light source. The artificial sun is an orange-skinned, gigantic, one-eyed creature, Kraken, that has a circular body covered with numerous tentacles, and it appears to lack having a mouth. It also can produce a powerful beam of energy. This alien hovers in midair in the heavens and acts rather hostile. This creature bears an uncanny resemblance to Yivo. I don't even know who that is. Let's see who it is. The artificial sun eventual defeat is not shown due to the film ending. Therefore, its fate remains unknown because it suffers a headwind and comes back, like I was telling you. Let's see who Vivo is while I'm clearing out this one, or Yivo. Oh, snap. Here we go again. Wow, this is another movie. Exact same thing. How about Magnemite? Magnemite from Pokemon with the one eye in the center. Okay. And he harnesses power, electricity, electromagnetic fields. Magnemite. All right. Well, that's the same thing you see here. Yivo. I don't even know who he was, but I just learned about Yivo today along with you guys. Yivo is a huge planet-sized alien from another universe in which Yivo dwells alone, in contrast to ours, where we are many, because there are none others like Yivo. Yivo has no determinable gender. He's a Baphomet. And thus, instead of a he and she, the word shikli. Oh my goodness, this is crazy confirmation for me. What in the world? Yeah, is a super sapient or a super saiyan? Now we can pull in a whole Dragon Ball Z decode in this, and a Naruto and their one eye symbolism of the real society, the one eye everything. Don't try and go back and screenshot me with my hand up there. I would never do that because somebody would do it for a picture or whatever for Hollywood. I was doing it to show you, but here we go. All right, let's keep on going. Now, remember I told you, I showed you that picture. Watch, let me show you one more time. The emulated screen. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. All right. So remember, remember this one? And I told you to zoom in on it, and it has a hexagon pattern to it. Everybody zoom in on that green thing at the top, and it has a hexagon pattern to it. And you can also see the star of Ephraim reflecting from it as well because of the way it's shaped. So you have the star of Ephraim in the heavens reflecting this star, this electric fake light to man. You have literally the star of Israel, the false star of Israel, Isis, Ra, and El in the sky. Isis, Ra, and Tammuz, Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz in the sky right now. Okay. Well, and if you're not seeing that, zoom in on it. I'm giving you time to look at it. Okay. And then I want you to look at this. Don't you remember, poor thing? Not only did the hexagon panel fall from the sky in Chicken Little, but it also contained a star in which it still harnessed its light and power. Well, hopefully you see that real good there. Let me see. I want you to look at that real good. How's that? Is that better for you? Can you see that? All right. Let's keep on going. Let's get back to the two suns that everybody's been seeing all over the place, and I'm hoping it makes sense to you now. Hope it makes sense to you now. Okay. All right. Big Hero 6. That's from the first video we made. If y'all want to watch that video, that movie, I encourage you because it'll teach you some things as well. Because even the nanotech in the air and the rising of John and James in that movie, there's John, who plays the character of the antagonist bad guy in this movie too, who wears the mask, in which it's crazy. Everything I've been talking about is in that as well. So enjoy that. And by the way, fun fact, I'm going to have to show it one more time, okay? Because this will blow your mind here in closing. I had to do it to you. I want to do it one more time. Just one more time. I have to. 3, 2, 1. Listen to this carefully.
Intrepid friends, led by Fred, their leader, Fred's angels. Fred's angels. Harnessing the power of the sun with the ancient amulet they found in the attic.
Firmament.
The amulet is green. It's probably an emerald.
Fred? Reflecting from the emerald green light of God, they are harnessing the power of the sun.
I will laser hand you in the face.
Okay. Well, in that movie, he's also singing the song from Charlie's Angels. Okay. Now, the only funny thing about, Charlie's Angels is he makes himself the father of those angels. Well, I've been telling you about a lot of decodes lately. Well, the next thing we're going to be getting into is this whole Joseph. Remember Joseph Biden? Remember that poor fella because he can't remember anything? Well, I've been doing a lot of digging on the name Joseph as well with this James and John and Mary decode and Peter decode. Well, I'm going to start one here coming up. Anyway, that guy's name is Todd Joseph Miller. Okay. That sings that song. And he's actually one of my favorite characters in general that acts. Okay. In the new Deadpool, he acts as a father figure to Deadpool. He's his best friend. And do you know who Deadpool's other best friend is? Peter Pool. It's Peter Pool and it's Deadpool. Okay. Ryan Reynolds. And then it's his best friend, TJ Joseph Miller. And I can't even remember what his name is in that movie. And he's in a lot of movies like that where he tries to be the head of them, in charge of them. So we're going to get in another decode with that stuff here coming up. And that's going to be pretty wild as well. But he's one of my favorite actors. And he's in a lot of movies. You remember the Emoji Movie? All right. And Ready Player One and a lot of stuff. We'll be doing a decode on him here shortly. It's going to be pretty wild. Okay. So let me tell you this. I got you guys up here. Okay. If you're new to the channel and you like this, I always try to make sure people understand what to do when they come to my page. Okay. You gotta make sure you don't just go to the home page. Okay. You're gonna be very limited with the stuff I present. Okay. All my videos are in the live section. You can find every video that I've made here. Okay. So this is where I always send people because they're in the order in which I do. I have tried my best to upload videos as much as I can into my video section so that you can come here and watch too, in case you don't click over to the live stream section. Okay. I hate how YouTube makes me split all this up like this. If you see double uploads, I'm doing it trying to help you out. Okay. I've also made it simple for you, made playlists for you. Okay. Godzilla Leviathan is very important. Okay, I have a lot of recent ones on that. I start working backwards with that one. Noahide Law and Donald Trump. I encourage you guys to watch every single one of these videos immediately. Okay, if you ever wanted to do a Revelation study with me, this is the whole book of Revelation where I go through every single word a few times with you guys, a chapter at a time, word by word, line by line, and multiple videos right here. I encourage you to check that out as well. But even more than that, if you're excited about the whole Peter, James, John decode stuff that's been happening, I encourage you to check this out here. This is so important. This one. That's why it's first. Okay? So there's all that. Hour and 16 minutes. I presented a lot of stuff. I'm going to call it the end right now, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this, all right? If you did, hit one of the buttons down below. If you want to help out, support the channel in any way, I did provide my Cash App, PayPal down there as well. There are some that want to do that for the help. Other than that, though, I think that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to let you munch on this before YouTube tears it up. So if you just jumped on this video, you've got about an hour before YouTube does their thing. YouTube, as you're ripping up this video and trying to hide stuff, just know you're telling on yourself with everything you strip out of this video. All right, guys. Love you. And yes, Angela, I have a whole bunch of stuff decoded for Fortnite. And I'll try to throw all that together for you here coming up as well. All right. But anyway, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got something out of it. I'll see you on the next one. Good night and or day, wherever you are in the world from beyond the veil.